About halfway through Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones, the campaign funnels you into a strict bottleneck. You reach Chapter 8, clear the map, and are immediately hit with the first massive, irreversible decision of the game. The narrative demands a choice. You can either follow Erika's perspective or Ephraim's perspective for the next entire third of the campaign. For a lot of players, this menu is a source of intense anxiety. You stare at the two options, wondering if picking the wrong sibling will permanently ruin a save file you've already invested hours into. The mind immediately goes to the potential trade-offs: miss out on the best units, lose the true ending, or hit a brutal difficulty spike. That hesitation comes from a misunderstanding of how the mechanics of this split actually work behind the scenes. There is no wrong choice here. Both routes are identical in their length and their long-term consequences for the world. This flowchart breaks down the structure. After Chapter 8, the game splits into 8 unique chapters for Erika and 8 for Ephraim. But regardless of your choice, both armies merge completely at Chapter 17. You can't lock yourself out of characters, items, or achievements. The lore does reveal different regional politics depending on who you follow, but neither sibling holds a more complete version of the overall story. The truth of the ending remains the same. Since both paths converge at the same point, your decision changes which side of the continent you see and the level of tactical resistance you'll face along the way. Before you can make that choice, you have to survive Chapter 8. The map is called It's a Trap, and it acts as a mechanical gateway to test your army. The map is loaded with high-value loot, including an angelic robe for health, a silver sword for heavy damage, and an Elysian whip for flyers. To secure those items, you have to deploy a thief unit, likely Colm, and physically march him over to unlock the chests. Thieves are fragile combatants. Bringing Colm to secure the loot means dedicating a deployment slot to a unit that can't hold a front line against the map's aggressive enemies. The pressure spikes on turn 5. Enemy reinforcements spawn near your starting position. 3 cavaliers, 2 mages, and an enemy thief all rush in to threaten your backline. You have to split your army into dedicated groups. One squad needs to hold off the reinforcements, while the other pushes forward to protect your thief and secure the chests. Thankfully, Ephraim, Kyle, and Ford arrive on turn 2. They show up in the southwest, providing a flanking force to relieve the pressure on your main group. Chapter 8 forces you to balance aggressive map clearing with careful protection of vulnerable units, testing the skills required for the upcoming route split. The final hurdle to clearing the chapter is unseating General Tirado from the throne. This chart compares Tirado against the enemies you've fought so far. Depending on your difficulty setting, he boasts up to 42 HP and 15 defense. He also carries a silver lance, a weapon that hits hard enough to one-shot exposed low HP characters. The optimal counter strategy is bypassing his armor entirely. You hit him with magic, then immediately use the rescue mechanic with a mounted unit to pull the mage out of his attack range. If you lack strong magic, you can use terrain manipulation. Parking high HP fighters like Ross or Garcia on the map's pillars stacks your evasion stats, lowering Tirado's chance to land a hit. Tirado acts as a gatekeeper. If his stats and the requirement for precise rescue dropping feel overwhelming here, those tactical demands only intensify once the routes split. In tactical RPGs, soft locking happens when your units are underleveled and the enemy's stats are too high for you to mathematically progress. Erika's route is the baseline progression curve for the campaign. Her path offers balanced encounters that prioritize world building and narrative over punishing tactical demands. Ephraim's route features steeper difficulty scaling and denser, more aggressive enemy formations. Survival on Ephraim's path requires either strict tactical mastery or time spent grinding optional skirmish battles to inflate your roster stats. The Chapter 8 split functions as a hidden difficulty toggle, allowing players to choose between a standard progression curve and a more punishing tactical gauntlet. To make the right call, perform an honest audit of your own playstyle and how you've prepared your army up to this point. If you fit the narrative-driven beginner profile, meaning you skipped the optional monster battles and your units are a bit frail, the choice is straightforward. Choose Erika. Her route prevents game-ending frustration and delivers the smoothest experience for those focused on the story. Conversely, consider the tactical optimizer profile.
If you easily dismantled Tirado by exploiting terrain, and you want the maps to push back against your strategies, you belong on the other side. Pick Ephraim. His route is a rewarding gauntlet that justifies the time spent grinding extra experience for your army. Remember the safety net. No matter how punishing or breezy the next 8 chapters are, the family reunites at Chapter 17 with all characters intact. Pick the route that matches your tolerance for friction today, and get back to the battlefield.